So what we'll do now in this video is we'll start to block out the profile view. So I'm going to go to B, Z, and grab my Z modeler brush. And now I'm going to hold spacebar on the edge and make sure insert is on. And I'm just going to um, start breaking up the face by these guidelines that are given here. Do you see this? So for example, if I drop a line going this way, and what I can do is start to do things like, well, think about like, well, what's my process in Maya? Well, I need a straight edge here. I can hold spacebar on this edge, select my slide. You can see I can slide this section up. I can um, go to scale. I can scale that up. Another good one is, let's see. Let's see. I can spin that edge. I mean, anything that you kind of want. So what I'm going to do is, um, let's just go ahead and, I guess, uniform move it. So I'm going to grab my move topological and then just start straightening out this edge the best that I can, like this, and then just pulling this back. And you'll see right off the bat, we start to just kind of follow that brow ridge. I'm going to move this and sort of, it starts to help me really compartmentalize that, where that frontal ridge is there. And mind you, I didn't create my nose yet, right? And jumping back to my Z modeler brush, right? So um, BZM, right? BZM, and then just throw a cut in going this way. Oh, come on. Let's make sure insert is back on. So that. I like to always use hotkeys, but I'm going to show you really quickly, just so we can click down here and then just come up, so it's not a lot of me talking about what hotkeys to select. We'll go ahead and customize your UI. So up at the top here, go to Preferences, Configure, and then you'll see where it says Enable Customize. Turn that on. So let's add a couple brushes as we go. So you can see like Move Topological. If I hold Control and Alt and drag off that one there, I can drag and place that on my timeline down here, right, on the bottom of my screen. Another one that I'm going to be using a lot, as you know, is the Z Modeler, holding Control and Alt and clicking on that. Clay Buildup, and it's really just grabbing all of those brushes that I've been using a lot lately. And let's see, Smooth is just Shift, so I think that's pretty good for now. And I'm going to turn this off so we get back, and let's just jump back into sculpting. So I'm going to hide this, and let's just add a bunch of other cuts. So Move Top is selected, and I'm going to bring this point down so that again we're using this to form our jaw. This is the point of where our jaw is, and we're going to have to add a cut kind of going across the jaw here to start to define that. So grab our Z modeler brush. Let's start there. And notice that what I try to do the most is on the front I try to keep it as straight as possible, and then with this I just try to get them as straight or as clean as possible so that I have these guides. Let's actually make this up here, bringing this down like that. I'm going to add one more guide that goes around here to the back of the ear. That's going to help shape it this way. And I'm staying pretty low at first. You don't want to go way too high just going to bring this down. There we go. You got that nice curve. You don't want to go way too high when you start modeling, because you start to lose control of your model. Okay. And then I think I'm going to add one more that sort of runs the ring of the face. So you'll see what I mean in a second. So if I click here, notice that it loops around the entirety of my face. What I'll do is switch over to this side, and I'm going to use that as a guide. Kind of separate this out. Actually, you know what? I'll use this one to section off my nose and to give me a more defined jaw. So let's bring this little guy up here. So I'll zoom in so you can see that. Let's bring this throat part up. There we go. And this is going to be our the place where we're essentially going to build out or start to create the structure of the nose. I'm going to stop this one here, and what we'll do is we'll add a couple more cuts to define the front of the face. You know what, let's do one now, and then that way the next video we can start working on things like the nose and the eye. So just jump back to your Z modeler brush and just only throw one more cut just to uh, of our character's left, our right eye. Just place one there, and then grab your brush here, and then just start to just really bring this down. Stuff like this. If you find that your it's not grabbing your vert, you have to oftentimes expand that out. So let's kind of make that a little bit straighter. Something like this. One thing else that I'm going to do, not to kind of bore you too much with this, is after I do something like this, I hide the floor and I go to my top view and I start to look at weird jagged edges like this and I start to smooth it out. So for example, this front, I'm looking to make clean curved topology like this across all of the surfaces. So you can see here I get a nice beautiful curve. I'm going to try to not mess too much with that stuff, but you can see here a nice curve. And then when you rotate around, you start to say, oh, okay, I see it. Like it's starting to look more like a kind of like a person's face. This is not how a person's face indents in, so just pulling these forward, right? Looking at stuff like this. Nice, beautiful curvature. And because the human face is rounded, right? It's a little more round in the front. And if you hold Alt, it gives you a little bit more oomph in your things like this. Alright, looks pretty good. Same thing here. Go to the back of the head. And what I'll do is I'll stop this video here, but just go in and just sort of curve out all of those lines, right? Like here's this one. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. When we come back, all these edges will be curved, and we'll start working on the eye sockets.